Welcome to our weekend interaction on News Insight. Hello, guys. Happy weekend.
Yeah, happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
I think it's a little bit relaxed today than
Well, of course, yes.
a
Enjoyable.
lot of anger, political anger against IBB for waiting 32 years, a whole lot of 32 years before telling us that he was sorry that Abiola under Social Democratic Party, SDP, won the election. And a lot of people were like, oh, he didn't need to do that. Okay. Some people say, oh, it was okay that he still did it. Some are going further to say he should have been arrested, he should have blah, 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 But on the other way around, P2B made some remarkable statements about the book launch and the lifetime of IBB himself as a president or military leader. What were the highlights of P2B's remarks?
I think the major thing P2B pointed to the whole world, I won't say to Nigeria because it's actually an international news, is the fact that Nigeria was better off, during the time of IBB than it is today. And I think I even though I was a bit younger then, I was also grown enough to understand what he is saying. I think 1990, I should be in SS1 here in Life Camp.
Yeah.
And then I remember a bag of rice used to be less than 500 naira. It was between 350 to 500.
Yeah.
A crate of egg was 225 naira. Gari was just 1,002 something. So I remember then we were having enough to eat, not because we were rich. We're having good hospitals to go to, not because we were rich. And then there were no threats to life and property in terms of security. And I want to believe that Nigeria, the population then was lesser, and then so the exploitation of our mineral resources and other available things was lesser. And then I've gone through a lot of complaints about military way of doing things, dictatorship and whatever. Then having democracy, I was expecting things should have been better now. Today, if you hold onto the whole money our parents used then to feed the family, to buy cars and do what necessary things, it cannot buy you retirement
Anything today.
And then the value for human life again. Even though they were military, there was much more value and respect. Even the election annulled election that we talked about.
Yeah, Babangida said
as at that time, there was respect for rule of law and even election. I remember that even when they talk of stopping the election, the INEC chairman there said no.
Election.
And then there was no rigging. So I think there was more value.
Okay, Philip, is it not remarkable that P2B was saying that we were better off essentially that was the summary, we're better off economically in Babangida's time than now. That he was comparing the index of Ghana, Indonesia, Human Development Index, of all those countries that were at the lower cadre then.
With Nigeria
as at that time. But all those countries, Indonesia and co, have moved at least to the medium. Some are even struggling to get into the high Human Development Index. But Nigeria still remains stuck at the lower level and even moving backward in certain index, stagnated in certain index. Yeah, I mean, it's not a shame.
It is a big shame. One thing I want people to get clear here is that they shouldn't go to the market when the fact that Obi said IBB government was better off. What he was saying is that the life Nigeria were living then, compared to what we are living now, that's what Obi speak to, and not the government of IBB. Obi also allude to the fact that if Nigeria were to be a progressive nation, like every other country, you mentioned Bangladesh, India, Ghana, and all of that, we should have progressed beyond where we is now. You see, yes, Nigeria was better off when you talk about our economic state right now, financial stand and all of that. Because he also alluded to the fact that Babangida brought life to a financial institution and the rest of them. Okay, and this were true.
Okay, let's reduce it to be candid. Even as a young man then, I remember when we were in school, when Babangida was passing, we were all made to line up to raise our hand. We were very, very young then, no doubt about it. I was in secondary school. But I do know very well there are a lot of capital development, capital projects, something like Third Mainland Bridge was done by IBB. Almost the entire main Abuja, the Garikis and all that were all developed during the IBB. And these were the people we say they were very, very corrupt. So, but now, do you think corruption? And that time you could drive to all these northern states without any issue. No, nobody will stop you. Anything you keep outside, tomorrow morning you come out and you meet it. How come? Does it mean democracy has increased corruption in Nigeria?
Democracy, yes, I think it
Meanwhile, I remember that Babangida was one of those they say is actually the most corrupt military leader by statement.
Yes. Rather unfortunate, like I just mentioned not too long from now, that after the military era, democracy came. And instead of bettering the lives of our people, our economy, our security, remember, even under IBB, the election that was annulled, that caused all these chaos problems here and there, that he just came out to apologize. It was a Muslim ticket.
Yeah.
Kingibe and Abiola. Not just Kingibe and Abiola. The next opposition party, NRC and SDP, it was still a Muslim. Nobody bothered. I was in Kaduna then. Once it's 5:36 in the evening, when they are calling prayers, I'm looking for the nearest Muslim family who are my friends. And they are families, not friends. I call them families because there's a relationship you have with a family that you no longer, you become a member of the family. I used to know then how the economy was so good, there was this natural love, religion and tribe was never, because the leadership did not try to use any of this as an advantage to themselves. So when it's time for prayer, we are waiting because we know after the prayers, evening prayers, there's what we call Zawri in the northern part, in the Hausa. Beside their mosque, their prayer place, all the mothers will have brought food. And we were eating from, how can I be eating food with you from the same pot?
How has democracy now turned us into baggage of corruption?
Yes, it has turned us because of selfishness, selfish interest. The people, the players in the democratic setting are not interested in the relationship that was what we were used to. They are rather interested in how they will confuse people against themselves for their advantage, right? Instead of the advantage of the country, now instigating people in terms of religion and all that. So they brought confusion and everything began to move back.
Okay, Philip, I'm just wondering if military dictators who almost were not answerable to anybody were able to do that much, conduct election. Babangida built the headquarters of SDP then and that of NRC. We're able to conduct election. We're able to do those things. He was even able to rule with some civilian governors at the time. And a lot of achievement, no matter removing the error he made and all that, whether it's error or intentional, let's put those politics aside. We're able to record those level of success that P2B himself could recognize. How come democracy as we have today, yes, not exactly as we have under Obasanjo and co, as we have today, how come we are so backward?
You see, this is the problem we have with democracy. I think there's a statement made sometime that when, I think it's in America, I can't remember the exact word, but what he's trying to say in essence that when the good people, say freedom for everybody, it will come to a point, the rogues will not take over power because you are pushing for freedom. And when they take over power in the name of democracy, they will destroy the entire system. That's what has happened to us. Aside what Obi said, so Moleso also said that, look, these people that are celebrating IBB books, most of them knew that if the election was not annulled, because like he said, that was one of the finest elections we ever had, that these people would have had a chance of getting into governance, which is true. Because in 1998, 97, 98, when the military decided to return power to civilian, the the technocrats, the good people, the men with integrity and character, because of what happened to Abiola and others, refused to participate in the election. It is these gutter boys, these boys that were milling around the military, that went and were encouraged by the military to go and contest election. And they were the people that took over the power. And that's what is playing out. You also remember, sorry, don't cut me short. You remember that the so-called president we have today, who claimed to be a social a Democrat,
Yes.
we have also heard from the game, I don't not confirm that he was actually lobbying for office from Abacha government. The man who claimed to be fighting against the military. Your question is, how is it that the military, who were supposed to be dictators, did better than democracy? You see, that era you are talking of, even the men in uniform, they are men of character and integrity. You don't join the army if you don't have a character and integrity. Not the army we even have today. In fact, the whole fabric of the society is finished. The decadence in the society the rot is so much.
Okay, now let's get to Peter B also spoke about lessons, because the essence of the whole book is he will learn from there, that he will read is somebody that believes in lifelong learning. So he's going to learn a lot from Babangida's book. What lessons can we learn from there? Today we didn't want to go into politics. Yesterday we talked about something like 2023 election, that people felt Mahmoud didn't live up to expectation. Do we learn lesson from this to do legal things, not doing something illegal and say you did it to save a nation? What are the lessons we should learn from this?
The lessons here are many, but a few out of them are this. To understand that nothing lasts forever. No man lasts forever. And either you like it or not, you could do certain things today because of a personal and selfish interest. You can't last forever. One day, either in life or in death, you'll be answerable to the people or to God. So if Babangida, the most powerful, the Maradona he was called, can now be grateful that he's alive today to make this confession and plead for mercy. A lot of them are no longer alive, Abacha and co. Then that means we should understand that this world we are, the best we can do is to do that which, if we are no longer, men will appreciate God for the time we spend on earth, and understand that no matter the volume of money we steal or power we acquire by pushing other people down, it doesn't last forever.
Okay, Philip, a lot of people, Babangida is already too old now. Even though you want to hold him responsible for anything, you can't. He's already too old. Okay, but people believe that when you leave punishment out, there's a limit as to how much people can be corrected, no matter the age, no matter the time, no matter where. Okay, a lot of people didn't think Babangida has been fair to the country by cancelling that election, and also waiting for 32 years. They didn't believe he has been fair. In as much as, yes, economic index as at that time is a lot better than today, no doubt about that. And we won't use it to compare today, because a lot of people fail. They have been failing. If people have succeeded, by now would have known that military was a waste. So how do we introduce punitive measures for things like this?
You see, that is why in my opening I said that we should get one thing clear. Obi is not supporting whatever Babangida did at that time. What is merely saying that life there, the quality of life there was better off compared to even after 32 years. In response to your question, look, I am of the school of thought that there should be deterrence. A man who breaks the law should pay the price. Simple. As far as I am concerned, Babangida has admitted to an offense. He should be punished so that he will serve as a deterrent to all these idiots that are there. Sorry to use the word.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
So, because the thing is this, we just had an election in 2023. We had a constitution who says that for you to become president of Nigeria, you must score 25% of the total vote cast in the FCT. And the Supreme Court sat there and said, FCT is equivalent to a state, therefore it doesn't matter. And again, you have somebody who announced result. If we wait for 15 years, 10 years time, somebody was asking for my opinion. I said to the person that, look, For me, my opinion is that the man should be punished so that you serve as a deterrent to other. Because after 15 years, somebody will come that, oh, Obi actually won the 2023 election, but for the purpose of this, to save democracy, we now announce Tinubu as the winner. So for me, Babangida should be tried. In fact, he has. You see, this is what we call res ista liquido. The fact speaks for itself. He has admitted to the offense. He should be straight away to go to jail, even if it is 1 day. Let him serve the jail term. He should be ex-convict before he goes to his grave. That's my opinion.
Now, one of the reasons he gave, a commander-in-chief of the armed forces and also a military man says that he did some of those to protect Abiola from the enemies who might kill him. Abiola ended up dying in the process. And the man is confessed and the man is alive. Shouldn't he be tried?
No, he should be tried. IBB should be tried because he gave reasons that late Abacha was very deadly. His confession shows that he was even afraid of Abacha and some northern elites. But the question is this, like you rightly said, you are commander-in-chief, you are equally a northerner. You had the power to have dropped Abacha and lock up all those things. I think IBB is still doing that, which he has done. They call him Maradona. He has achieved his evil intentions, and I don't know what conscience. For 32 years, he waited for 32 years before he will come out to admit this. He should actually be tried. And then a little thought just came to my mind over the question you asked before. One of the reasons why I think the military seems to have achieved more than the democratical setting we have today is this. In the military era, if you are the head of state and then other people, and you are not doing what should be done, you are not doing things for the progress of the people, you can be overthrown overnight. You can be an ex-president under 24 hours. Our democracy today
does not allow
that. And even the rules and regulations, the guidelines for you to remain in office is not being practiced because of corruption and manipulations. Because the people that are supposed to be in the National Assembly, in the State Assembly, in the House of Reps, to caution, to guide the executive, are not equally qualified.
Okay, Philip, like the way you have been making it very, very clear, is there any kind of hidden image laundering? People say, oh, P2B said Babangida time is better than now, or blah, 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 for a man who has actually kind of confessed to a crime, actually. Is there, why does he have to, why are they in the media, they are using P2B, well, was there, this social person was there, and they were all clapping for him. And I also learned, I've not verified, that over 16 billion naira has been realized.
For his presidential library. Yes. It's a fact. You see, let's get it clear. You asked a question before now. Let me say a little bit about that. When Obi said he liked to read and learn from people, there's a lot to be learned from the books. When you know the evil plans of a person who has ruled before, and you're aspiring to lead, that will guide you. It is proper for all of us who are aspiring to a position of leadership, as Obi has advocated, to go and get that book and study the book and see. You see, there's no way that book is written that some of their secrets are not let out. So when Obi and you and I and Obi go through that book, we will learn and see how our head have been used to the extent where I say, no, coming to the question you asked now, this is a country where anything goes. Yeah. But how do we get out of it? It is one thing we continue to stay here. The people need to wake up. We need to look for one good head.
Yes.
The military era, we tend to have those good heads. Like he said, if you are doing it wrongly, the next thing you are kicked out of office. Look at what is happening in Burkina Faso. Yeah. The young man, what he's doing. He's a military leader. I think I am not advocating for military leadership.
Because even the military will have now.
Yeah. Because like he said, you see, what is democracy? Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. At the end of the day, it's government by some persons, for some persons, and for some persons. Yeah. He's not helping us.
Okay, Honorable, what lesson are we, because the essence of all these books, whether he's punished or not, he's praised or not, he's supported or not, is the lesson that is important to us. In 30 seconds, what was the lesson we take from there?
I mentioned not too long, one of the major lessons here is that no matter the money you steal, no matter the wickedness you display, no matter the rigging of election, no matter the keeping in office of people who are supposed to have left office, no matter what you do, life. You cannot accumulate everything and buy life.
You can't buy life. Okay, I think that's going to be our takeaway. The lesson is for us who aspire to be at the position of leadership, for us who are alive, for us who are still younger than him, let us read that book. He had a lot of regrets. He said if given chance, he would have done things differently. We should start doing those things differently
Correctly.
now.
Exactly.
We shouldn't do something wrong now. Now wait for 15, 30, 32 years and come and regret. That should be our number one lesson. And number two lesson there is that life itself is transient. Nothing lasts forever. I think with that we should be closing this discussion. Maybe we'll continue again when we come back. This is Stay News Insight. We'll be right back.